discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Tiny Town's solo variant. Real quick, if you want to see the discussion or review of Tiny Towns with multiple people, you can click the I to go and check that out. But without further ado, let's talk about this game as a solo game. And I gotta say, this is a phenomenal game. Like, just in every aspect, multiplayer and solo. I had a lot of fun playing this solo. Now, I should stress that I do not play a lot of solo board games. I have done my fair share. But typically whenever I am buying games, I'm not thinking of the solo variant in mind. That's definitely an afterthought. And I know that's not the case for a lot of people. I know a lot of people look for that solo variant because they can't always play games with people, and that's perfectly fine. I'm at the point where I have people who are dedicated to helping me with the channel, and they also really enjoy the hobby, and they'll play games. So, but they're also not always available. And this game is such a neat puzzle in every aspect. So how does this differ from the base or the regular game with multiple people? Well, you still have the randomness of the the resources that are going to be available to you for you to build. Some cards are taken out, and those are the cards that deal with, oh, if you have more than these people, or if you're the first one to finish your town, just things like that. But you still have the buildings available to you. You know, the 7 buildings. Cottage doesn't really count, but the 6 variable buildings. But they utilize this resource deck that just has the resources on it, and you shuffle this deck up, and you have 3 cards available to you. So I really like this, because in the regular game, how you get your resources is everyone's building the town kind of simultaneously. Simultaneously. But the resources that are being called are what the person needs. So they're trying to build a market. So they're going to be calling those resources, which aren't going to be what the other people need, or not always. Sometimes people will also be going for markets, and it's like, oh, thank God. But with the more people you add, the more different ways people are going to try and get points and strategize and then place, and then it's like, oh, okay, now I need to change up my strategy. So you still have that randomness, but in the solo mode, you have 3 options. And you're not competing against anyone. You're not trying to figure out, okay, well, what do they need? Looking at their board and being like, okay, well, they're trying to build a feast hall, so they need wood right now. They have 1 wood and 1 glass. You know, I don't need wood right now. I can hold off. I'm going to call brick. You don't have any of that, which is fine, too. But, so you have the 3 cards, and you get to look at everything and be like, okay, I have these 3. What can I build with these 3, or how can I plan and place my resources on this board, and to plan ahead, but you still have the randomness, because if you watch the solo run through, you'll sit there and be like, oh, okay, so I have this plan and I need this card to show up. Crap, it didn't. Okay, well, now how can I make this work? It's like, okay, I'm going to use this glass, because this glass is going to allow me to place here, and I can build this or this. Okay, but I really need brick to show up. Okay, it's stone. So now I have 2 stone and a wheat. What can I do with that? I just really like, because it's a different level of thinking. You don't have to worry about what other people are going to play, or hope what they call out, and still trying to, okay, I need to be as efficient as possible because I need to beat them. In this, it's just a personal thing. Like I got I want you to watch the run through, but I got this amount of points, and it's like, okay, can I beat this? And it was still very, very satisfying to look and be like, okay, I have this as my monument, because that's also a strategy you can go for. It's like, this is a monument. If I can build this, then this will help me in this way. Like, my monument was the Cathedral of Katarina. It's 2 points, and empty squares in your town are worth 0 instead of -1, which is huge, because I needed resources that I didn't get, which would have totally screwed me over. Like, let's see, that'd be yeah. I mean, it would have knocked me down a whole peg. So, whenever you have these three cards that are available to you, you just have. I feel you have a little bit more control because it's not let's just say a 4-player game. It's not three people calling out stuff that you have to hope they at least mention. And if none of them say anything of what you need, then you're hosed, and you have to wait until your turn. And then it's like, okay, great, now I can get something. At least here, now this can still happen. You can still get 3 things that you don't need, but at least you can plan for that a little bit more. So you have a little bit more control in the solo variant, I feel. Because if I have, like what I'm looking at right now, 2 stone and a wheat, it's like, okay, none of that helps me with the strategy I'm going for. But there's the market. Okay, the market requires 2 stone. I can place that, but I have to hope. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna use the stone. I'm gonna place that there. Then I'm gonna get it, and oh, thank God, it's the brick I needed for that cottage. So because you can cycle. You can like use these resources that you don't really need, but you can still kind of push off into and plan to build them later to cycle through the deck, which I think is awesome because it almost has like a deck building element to it. Not really in any way, but the thing I'm thinking of is cycling through your deck to get the cards you need, or a Magic feel where it's like, okay, I'm going to play this card and just keep drawing until I get the cards I need in my deck. So it's like, okay, I'm going to place that stone there. I'm going to use this other stone and place that to plan to build something else. And then, oh, thank God, there's the glass. Okay, then you can play. Then you build your building, and now you cleared up more spaces. Then, after you build the building that you initially wanted to, you get to look at it and be like, okay, I placed those 2 stone there for a reason. Okay, the wheat's still here. Bam, I'm going to use the wheat. And then, oh, look, I built that. And then, oh, okay, now. And it's a new challenge every single time. Because once, as with every other deck cycling element, once you finally get what you need and then you utilize it, you're like, okay, now what? Because now that I've done that, I still have a strategy to go to. And even then, like, I thought I was going to do terrible because, I mean, I worked really hard to get the 4 cloisters, and I'm like, man, that's only 4 points? That's a lot of work. And then luckily they have these building clarifications in the rules, which are awesome, because I'm like, there's no way. So it's like, but then I read, I'm like, yay, I didn't completely shit the bed. But then you still build and you still make those mistakes and you can continue to get better because it's like if I didn't place that there when I did, then I'd still have some room to do other things. I could have done something more, placed it there, and been more efficient with my placing. So as a solo variant, it's still just as puzzly as it is. You're not... like a lot of solo games, I feel like you're missing out on a lot of things. Unless they're like Gloomhaven, I think is fantastic solo. Folklore is great solo. But the ones where you're competing, and then like Feudum, for example, it was still really good solo, but at the time it's like, well, you as the AI, you don't have to worry about the resource management and feeding your people and all the difficult things that make it to where, like, what I want to do, I need to resource plan. So it's like you feel like you're missing out because it's like, well, you get to do fucking everything for free, and I still have to struggle. Whereas in a competitive game, in games like that, everyone has to struggle, and some more and some less. But at least everyone has to worry about that, and it's not someone doing things for free. This one, it's all in your own hands, and you still have the randomness of the deck. But even then you can card count a little bit. And I know in the Town Hall rules, they do a different thing with this deck. But in the let's see, yeah. And this, whatever you use goes to the bottom. And then so, if I use a brick and then this one comes out and then I use another brick, I know for a fact there's going to be 2 bricks in a row. So you can actually card count. And then if you really want to get to it, you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 15 cards. You can be like brick, brick. Okay, need a glass. So brick, brick, glass. And then this one comes out. Then you do brick, brick, and glass, glass, and then you could do that, and then so you would know, okay, there's been 15 cards. You'd have to really be paying attention to the deck, and I personally wouldn't want to sit here count the deck and also deal with placing this because I think it'd get a little bit much. But you could sit there and be like, okay, so after 15 cards have passed, I know for a fact I'm getting brick, brick, and glass, glass. What can I do with that? It's just neat. I think it's a very, very solid solo variant. Just adds that much more to an already great game. I think this game is phenomenal. And it's just, what's nice? It's not a Kickstarter game. Like, don't get me wrong, there's been fantastic Kickstarters that have coming out. But it's just nice to know that at least there's companies out there that still make games. Like, it's not crowdfunded, you don't have to wait. Like, it's like, wow, this is like a gem out of nowhere. It's just nice. And this game's wholesome. I love the artwork. So vibrant, so pretty. This cathedral artwork is fantastic. It's still nice to see what I built, even though I have 7 empty spaces that would have hosed me if I didn't have that cathedral built. But I built that. I worked for that. That's my points. It's just awesome. And even then, like, you look at these, and I'm going to say the same thing as I said in the other discussion. Like, if these cards came out again, it could be a different strategy. Because you can have this strategy and what I went for in the solo mode, but I know I made multiple mistakes. And the way that, and this may not have even been possible if the cards didn't come out the way they did. And I could have gotten more points if they did come out in, like, towards the end the way I wanted them to, but they didn't. So, like, that's the other great thing is, like, I could do this exact same setup, shuffle this resource deck again, and then be like, just be like, okay, well, the cloister strategy is not going to work, so let's go markets this time. Markets and then just have millstones everywhere. It's phenomenal. So, the solo variant, oh man, like, on a scale, so, let's see, negatives about the solo variant. Well, I'm still not a huge fan of playing games solo, but do I like this better than playing with people? I'm going to say I don't. Because I kind of think it takes away from the nature of tiny towns. Like, the whole thing about it is everyone's building simultaneously. Do I think this is a phenomenal variant? Absolutely. I think this is awesome. But it's still, like, I like that little element of what are they going to call, because whenever we were playing it was just super fun, and it's like, you're going to call, what again? Like, yeah! And some people might not like that. They might hate the randomness of what people are calling, but so you have both sides. You have control, and then you have the randomness, but the game is still great, and the game is still virtually the same. So I think I'm going to give the solo variant a 9 out of 10. And that's still very, very high. That keeps this game very high. That I think it's fantastic. And it's not long either. Like, I'm pretty sure this discussion is going longer than it took me to play. So that's the thing, is like, if you shit the bed and you're like, man, I'm not really doing that great, like, you have a whole board right here, so you just be like, okay, that was game number 1, so let's try this again, shuffle this deck, boom, you're ready to play again, and you try and see, out of 6 games, see what your best score was with these. Then you can cycle these out, and you can keep doing that, and I think that's great. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for me on the solo variant. But check out our discussion and run-through for Tiny Towns to see what the difference is and see which one you might like better. But let me know what you think of Tiny Towns solo variant in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.